Hello everyone, my name is Jonah and welcome back to another N-Scale review. Today, I'm very excited to show you guys this awesome product that I just got for Christmas just yesterday. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Amtrak GE P42 DC Genesis Superliner Starter Set. Yeah, so this is the Superliner Starter Set that is from Kato. It's a very, very nice product that I should definitely suggest that you should get. If you're a big Amtrak fan, I definitely suggest you should get this train set. Now, by the looks of YouTube, there's only one Superliner review that I've seen on YouTube. So this is going to be, I believe that this is going to be the second review on this product because there has only been one review on um, this train set. So I'm pretty surprised that there's not that many other train reviews on this exact product. So this is going to be the second, I believe, the second review on YouTube about this product. So it's pretty surprising there's not that many reviews on this product on YouTube right now. Now in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a closer look and all the details that goes from the engine all the way down to the very last car. Now before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and go through all the stuff that is included in the set. So in this set, you're included with a Amtrak P42 DC Genesis. This is the Phase 4B version. An Amtrak Superliner sleeper car. An Amtrak Superliner coach car, which is just a normal passenger car. And a Amtrak Superliner lounge car. So that is the whole train, but you need tracks to, of course, operate the train set. So what you're included in the set, you're included with 4 pieces of straight track, which are about 9 inches long, and then you have one 4-inch piece of straight track, and then you have a 2-inch straight track, but one of them is a power track. You also get 3 crossing accessories, a power pack, a rerailer, and also a outlet transformer for your power pack. Now, if you're curious, this is what the box looks like when you get it. So, of course, you have the Amtrak on the front, Amtrak P42 Superliner and Skill Starter set. What's pretty cool about this set is that it's actually officially licensed by Amtrak. Pretty cool. Now you see all the stuff that's on the front that's gone because, of course, all the stuff that's in there that's basically all out. You should look at one side. The back, which gives you all the information and also different loops that you can get and different track sets that you can get from Kato. So look at the other side. Here's a look at the bottom and a look at the top. So now it will come to the video where I will be giving you guys a closer look on giving you all the details that are included in the set, going from the Locomotive, which is a P42, all the way down to the very last Superliner car. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with the engine. And so, don't know how I'm going to be giving you the detail look. I'm going to start off with the front, top, back, sides, and bottom for every car, but I'll mostly just keep it the same because of similarities and stuff. So let's go ahead and start off with the front. So starting off with the front, before I get any further, I want to go ahead and tell you guys that there's a couple of separately applied pieces that you do see on this engine that are not on the engine when you get it. So you have to put a couple of separately applied pieces if you really want them on, but I decided to put them on anyway because I think it's, and of course, like people think it's a little lazy for Kato to just put the the separately applied pieces in a little bag and expect you to put it in. From my perspective, I think it's actually pretty fun to actually take your time and put all the little pieces together to make your engine look really cool. So I think it's perfectly fine, but of course it can get stressful for some people, but it does take practice, but it's pretty easy and it's pretty fun to do it for, in my opinion. Anyway, let's continue. So, starting off with the very front, we have a separately applied brake hose right here. Now, this is, of course, in that it's a little separately applied little plastic bag, which is most other, because all the separately applied pieces were all in that little bag. So, you have a little brake hose right here. Of course, the Kato coupler. Behind the coupler, you have a separately applied snowplow. No, this snowplow was attached when I got the engine, but you can't take it off by just putting a little screwdriver behind. Just push it out because it's just held by pins. Behind the snowplow, you have separately applied MU hoses on both sides. These were separately applied, and I did have to put those on. Getting onto the engine part, as you can see, you have this nice red line that goes along all around the engine on both sides. Gives a nice streamlined look. Have some nice molded in details right here and here. Right here we have, sorry if it's a little hard to see, right here and here we have two operating ditch lights. These do light up. Now this is the DC model. Don't know what DC means. It's that it doesn't have any sounds. It just lights up and just runs. It doesn't have any sounds because DCC is N scale with sounds. Moving along, as you can see, right here and here are the marker lights. Now, what's kind of unusual about the marker lights is that they do not light up. But for example, if you talk about like that Metro F40 that I reviewed, which was my first N scale train to ever get, it had operational marker lights. So I'm not 100% sure why this model does not have operating marker lights. They're just painted on. So I'm not 100% sure why it's like that, but I'm not gonna really complain about it. It's just Kato's way of doing it, so I'm not gonna complain about it. Anyway, moving on. So right over here, so as you can see between the marker lights and the ditch lights, you can see that the paint scheme changes from silver to blue. Now, once again, I did mention earlier in the video that this is a phase 4 version, because there's many different phases of the P42s, because the P42s were built back in the early 1990s by GE, and there was many different paint schemes that Amtrak got for the P42, but this is of course the most modern one, and this is the one that they have continued to use ever since. Right here in the middle, you have an operational headlight. This also lights up when you go in forward. The headlight will light up just as the ditch lights will, because they're all connected to one big light. Above the headlight, you have a very nice looking Amtrak logo. On both sides, you have these two little hatches right here, molded in hatches. Above the Amtrak logo, you have a operational light up. You have an operational light up number board. This piece was actually separately applied. Oh, and also forgot to mention, as you can see, there's this little window in front of the headlight. That little window was actually separately applied. It was not on the engine, so you actually have to put that little piece on. That little window on. It was a separately applied piece. Also with the number board, which also was separately applied as well. Right here you have two plastic windows, and what's really cool about the plastic windows is that the plastic windows have little molded in windshield wipers, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. So that does it for the front. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top. Alright, so here's a look at the top. The top has many different details that, as you can see, all over. So there's quite a bit of stuff that I have to go over with on the top. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting off with the front, you have some nice molded in detail right here and here. Right here you have these two little hatches, and which I'm very surprised to see here is that about these warning labels. I can't believe they were able to put such tiny text into these tiny little engines, and it's really cool to see these little warning labels right here, because you wouldn't really see that all the time on these engines, but it's just incredible to see these tiny little warning labels on these tiny little N-scale engines. It's really surprising to see that type of detail on this engine. I definitely really do like that type of detail. Moving back, you have some more molded in detail. You have a little vent right here, and then right here we have the most iconic train horn on any. The most iconic train horn that's always on every single, basically on every single Amtrak. And that is, of course, the Nathan Air Chime K50A, which is basically on every single Amtrak that operates to this day. It's very nicely done. Right here we have another warning label, which just looks incredible. We have a couple hatches right here, which do have molded in lift rings all around. Right here we have the exhaust, also known as the smokestack. It does not have a smoke unit because this engine is way too small to have a smoke unit. Some more molded in detail. Right here we have two more warning labels right here, and of course we have the cooling fan. Now, if you don't know about P42s, but P42s have always had one big fan to cool down the engine. That does it for the top. Let's go ahead and look at the back. Now, I do apologize for the glare just because of the lighting, and of course, like again, silver. It's kind of hard to see, but anyway, you can still see it anyway, but do apologize if it's a little bright. Anyway, so starting off on the top, as you can see, it went from that blue to the silver again. Goes with that paint scheme. I really like this paint scheme. It's one of my favorites. Starting off with right here, we have an operational backup light. Now, I'm pretty surprised that this one has a backup light because, for example, like the Metro, like I mentioned earlier, I have a Metro, and the Metro does not have a backup light. I don't know if it's because it's a Metro, you don't really need a backup light, but this one does have a backup light, which is pretty cool. Right here we have two marker lights. Of course, for some reason these do not operate. I'm not 100% sure why they didn't put any operational marker lights. Right here we have I believe two caps. I'm not 100% sure what the name of these. I believe these are sand caps. I believe they are. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know in the comments down below. Right here we have a molded in door with a little window. Now, as you can see behind the window, there's that little gray piece, plastic piece. The reason I put that little that gray plastic piece on there is because, of course, if they would have that clear, you would see all the wires and stuff and all the technology that's used inside, like the motor and stuff. But they did put a window, but they did block it off, so you can't see all the wires and stuff inside of it. Right here, and we have some nice molded in detail, and we have that red line again that we did see in the front. Right here we have two separately applied MU hoses. These were also added on by me. And then right here we have another Kato coupler, and then another brake hose, which is also separately applied by me. That does it for the back. Let's go ahead and take a look at the both sides. This is of course the best looking. This is of course the best side of the P42. And this is where it really takes place, where you definitely know that this is a P42 by its looks. So starting off with the front, as you can see, there's like many different angles that are done here, because as you can see, of course, it is angled up, and then you have, and then it kind of pushes out, and then goes into a straight angle, which is pretty cool, and it's very known for this engine. As you can see, you have another plastic window right here for the cab. Some nice molded details and a little vent right here. Right here we have the door, molded in door with molded in grab irons or handrails. As you can see right here, you have no steps that lead up to the door. You have a couple of vents up here. You have 5 in total. We have a very nice looking Amtrak logo. Looks excellent. It's a nice molded detail here and here. Right here we have the gas cap right here, so you can fill up you can put diesel. We have another molded door right here. This one doesn't have a window either. another molded vent, and more molded vents for the engine. Now, as you can see, I really like this paint scheme because, as you can see, it started because it's half blue and it goes all the way up, and then it goes back down and makes that no curve going into the back, which is really cool. As you can see, it's all silver around under the blue, and then you have that red line that goes all along. As you can see right here, of course, we have the number, or the engine number, 161. Right here we have another door, but this one does have a plastic window. Of course, it's blocked off, so you can't see all the wires and stuff, just like the one on the back. You have two molten and grab irons or handrails. Right here we have another step-up ladder right here. And as you can see, you can take a look at the axles, which are very nicely done for the size of this locomotive. Even though there's not any separately applied pieces on it, it still looks excellent, and it still looks very nice. Here's a look at the other side. As you can see, it looks basically exactly the same. There's just a few differences that can be seen. But what's really cool, and it's absolutely very tiny and very hard to see, but as you can see, I'm going to be zooming in real quick. It's going to be hard to see it, but I'll have to do it anyway. But as you can see, if you look closely, there you go. If you look closely right here, sorry if the focus is very hard to see, but as you can see right here, we have this little GE plaque right here, which it's not really a plaque, it's a little sticker on the engine that's really cool. And as you can see, it has the GE logo on it. Then it's such tiny little detail, but you can see it really nicely, and it's very nicely done for that little add-on there, because of course it can't be a GE engine without that little sticker on it. That is very nicely done and very nicely detailed. And as I have the camera like this, you get a better look at the axles. Very nicely done. That's a look at on the other side. Let's go ahead and get a nice look on the bottom. Alright, so here's a look at the bottom. There's not that much to see, but you can see, of course, the bottom of the axles. So as you can see, here's a look at the wheels. Of course, these are like the silver wheels that do pick up power from the track. As you can see right here in the middle, you can see the no gears that run the no wheels. You can see if I move the wheels in a little bit, you can kind of see it. And zoom in a little bit. There we go. Kind of see the gears right here and here. As you can see in the middle, you have these two air tanks. I believe these are air tanks. Or I believe these are air tanks. Right here you have the same design, just like the back. As you can see the wheels, and the two gears that run it. There's not that much other detail on the bottom other than just all the rest of the technology that's, the axles. But look right here, as you can see in the middle, right here it says Kato. And of course it says made in Japan, because of course Kato is a Japan company. So that's a look at the engine. Now let's go ahead and take a look at one of the Superliner cars, and we're going to be taking a look at the sleeper. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with the front of the sleeper. It's not really much to see other than a couple molded in details. As you can see, we have another brake hose right here. There's a nice molded in detail all along here. Right here we have two mark lights, which are just painted in. Once again, as you go with engine, it still does not have any operational marker lights. And right here we have a little plastic diaphragm, which is really cool. You have a molded in door with another window. And this window is actually see-through, so you can actually see inside of the car, which is pretty cool. Here's a look at the other side, the back. It's basically the exact same thing, so there's not really much to go over with. Now, there's not much to look at the top, so there's not really much to say about it. It's all just silver on top. Alright, so here's a look at the side, and as you can see, these cars look absolutely incredible. These are incredibly nice. They look perfectly just like real life, and Kato has done an extremely good job on these cars, and they made everything just look crisp and clear, and it just looks really nice. And I really do like how this looks. So this is the sleeping car. There's one, or as you can tell, that it's a sleeper car. As you can see, it says it right here next to the door. We're going to start off over here and work our way all the way down to the end. So as you can see, we have a nice ladder right here. So nice molded in detail. As you can see, a bunch of hatches and doors. No vent right here. Right here, as you can see, it has the car number, which is 32054. You can, even though how tiny this car is, it's about 2 centimeters tall, about 3 or 2 centimeters. It's a very tall car, but you can definitely see a lot of detail, which is very nicely done. As you can see, we have these very, very nice looking windows. As you can see, they have the lines in between, just like the real ones. Now, if you look inside closely, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the little rooms inside. I'll give you a closer look, but we'll go over the rest of the car before we try to go inside and look inside. As you can see, we have this very nice looking stripe that's very recognizable in all cars, and the stripe has always been part of the Superliner cars. They've always had these little stripes that go along to give it a really nice streamlined look. As you can see, we have this nice little I do not remember the official term for it, but we have some nice riveting, it's not riveting, but of course it has that really nice streamlined look to it, and it looks very nice. Right here, of course, we have a very nice looking Amtrak logo. Of course, now it's very, very hard to